Then I'll find a new fish hauler and pay him double what you get. How you like that?
I'll go.
You're hired.
What? You said get a job, and he's paying double.
Double? Who told you that nonsense?
Avatar: The Last Airbender is fondly remembered among hardcore and casual watchers of TV, so it was only a matter of time before this well-received animated series gets a live adaptation. I mean, a second live adaptation, I think. The previous 2010 adaptation, The Last Airbender, was not just a bad cinematic movie, but also a far cry in terms of quality compared to its original. Even in the realm of bad adaptations, it was something special. This is the reality of trying to cram an entire season worth of content into one movie. The Netflix series is miles ahead of the movie, which really is insane much seeing how the movie never left the starting line to begin with, but none of this you haven't already heard before. The 2024 Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender seemed like it might save us from a similar fate, which wouldn't be too difficult, but one of the fears I had when I first heard of this announcement absolutely came true, and you're gonna find out what it is in a little while. But what is wrong with the Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Is the show actually good? Well, let's find out. My first fear, and one that is actually unfounded given how easy it would be to do it correctly, is the choreography, particularly the earthbending. It's off. The more times I keep realizing that something is wrong, the more times I keep noticing that the earthbending is really off. It's more off than even the waterbending. The Avatar live action earthbending choreography is bad. It doesn't even work like the extension of a martial art, which is a huge flaw, considering that is the one rule all bending follow in the original comics and animated series. King Bumi is the only earthbender in the entire show whose earthbending even remotely looks like earthbending. I also don't know when waterbenders became ice quirk users. Waterbending makes liquid freeze, not freeze liquid. And you're gonna tell me you can't break out of this? In direct contrast, their firebending is the most like bending, you know, some of the time, particularly when Zuko is involved. The firebending is the closest to the animated series, while the earthbending is the furthest off. But I will say this, the lightning choreography is atrocious in this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Then look at this. What is that little flash? Is that supposed to be lightning? You're gonna tell me this is better than a taser? And when it comes to the airbending, in one scene Aang can do this, and in another he's doing this. In one scene Aang can do this, and in another he's doing this. Not sure what the rule of airbending is here, but apparently it isn't consistent. And why is Aang hanging in the air like that on the very first episode? What the heck did Zakia push himself to all those limits for?
Did he just fly?
Guess he doesn't need a ride.
To the untrained eye, the CGI looks good for the most part, particularly the bending effect, but can get very noticeable in other areas, not to the average consumer though. And you can notice occasional mistakes, like the hair and clothes staying completely still while they fly on Appa. You can see the background moving behind them, making it blatantly obvious that they were just sitting in one place with a green screen behind them. You see little oddities like this throughout. And not just with the movements, this problem can be seen on even the static scenes, making them stand out from the surroundings too much. I just think it looks off, unpolished and unprofessional for a $120 million project, where the live action cast appears to be too sharp against the often blurry wallpaper background. Oh, and the cast? Huge thumbs up, with some exceptions. But we'll come back to that. It's good of them to use the actual soundtrack of the animated series, like Iroh's Leaves from the Vine song instrumentals being played back at his son's funeral, a part of the live action that was connected with Iroh and Zuko getting closer at the end of the episode, which brings back a lot of memories, easily one of my best moments of the show. In the subject of the show's directing, there were quite a bit of moments I feel didn't land. Example, Katara stopping to smile at her village before moving forward in the first episode like it's her first time seeing the place. And also the enemies are beaten so easily. A single fan throw, you better believe that guy isn't getting back up again. A little water splash, you better believe those guys ain't getting back up again. And also Momo is barely ever on screen. Being one of the cast that is entirely CGI puts him out of like 90% of the scenes that he's supposed to be in. But from everybody I've talked to, the biggest problem that keeps popping up is how randomly the plot ping-pongs around and things not meaning what they are supposed to mean. Example, the badger moles. According to the animated series, the badger moles use their noses and sensitive whiskers to inspect objects in front of them. Their earthbending abilities allow them to feel the presence of their surroundings. But in the live action, it said that they follow feelings and love, and that is apparently how they see. They follow love. The badger mole's earthbending was an extension of their senses and their way of interacting with the world, says Toph. It's how she learned her seismic sense, you see. They taught her. But here, badger moles are doing what? Chasing love all over the place?
blind. They don't navigate by sight, but by feeling. They sense feelings and react to them. Anger, fear, but mostly love. Love is brightest in the dark.
So they respond to love?
What are you talking about, cracker?
A complete misalignment of the love is brightest in the dark message. That is not the only thing that is misplaced here though. It's essentially the same story, but the execution is all different. While this isn't necessarily a bad thing, considering it is live people doing the acting, but I don't see how that warrants having so many missed opportunities here. The live action could have easily spawned 5 seasons or more if they had stuck to a more faithful adaptation. And I'm still here wondering what the heck is Wan Shi-tong doing in the spirit world instead of his library. And can fly? Everyone can fly. He already has that bison whistle from the very beginning. Baku's waterbending scroll was given to Katara by Gran, eliminating the entire pirates episode from the show, where they had to fight a ship of pirates to get that scroll. Many places are never seen in a live action, but apparently these things happened. The guys in the bar that Zuko visited in episode 5 had this to say.
Is that right, Mookie?
But the Avatar. That's what those pirates said.
No, it wasn't the pirates. It was that canyon guy. He said Avatar bought us a canyon.
They mentioned the canyon crawler episode from the animated series and also the pirates episode that I literally just mentioned. Why exactly would they fight the pirates when they already have the scroll that caused the entire fight in the first place? Beats me. Even if the show took more than 5 seasons of 8 episodes each to create a more straightforward adaptation of the original story-wise, that would have been awesome. Why spend so much money just to cut the story so short? I'm gonna say it, the biggest plot deviation that I absolutely hate in this is the meeting of Wan Shi-tong in the spirit world. This right here removes the stranding in the desert episodes, which are some of my most favorite episodes in the animated series. But this means we'll never ever see it in the live action. Ever. This is the point where I lost all hope for this supposedly live adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. They deviated from the original plotlines too much and I'm not too sure I like it. It might as well be a different show at this point. I knew there would be changes to better fit live actors, but I thought the changes would be closely related to the animated series, but started getting worried about the show when I saw them meet Theo and the mechanics in Omashu instead of the Northern Air Temple, which should be close to the ending of season 1. If you think that's all, you would be wrong. This is where General Iroh got kidnapped by the Earthbenders. This is where they went into the cave of 2 lovers. Oh, and big surprise, this is also where they met Jet. Also removing his own introduction in the Red Leaf Forest, along with the entire arc too, because everything basically just happens in Omashu, which means Katara is the only one who spends any time with the Freedom Riders. Now, in case you don't understand what I'm saying, they combine 5 different points of the story from random spots in the animated series in this one place, one of which was not even from season 1. Episode 3 was the weakest in my opinion, but I will give them credit for how well they blend all these disconnected story points together. It's extremely well done. Anybody who didn't come from the animated series won't notice anything at all. That is some solid screenwriting there, but that seems to be where the root of the problem lies. With all these massive plotline deviations, Zhao attacks Kyoshi Island instead of Zuko. Zhong doesn't exist, Aang is the only one who goes to Roku's temple. I don't know how Jung got through entire Fire Nation armies and checkpoints to reach Aang in Avatar Roku's temple, Kyoshi being the first Avatar Aang meets instead of Roku. Kyoshi is the one who teaches Aang about the Avatar state instead of Roku. That was an iconic moment in The Last Airbender. Roku told us everything we needed to know about the Avatar state while he shows Aang memories and flashes for visual aid. Watch the learning of the Avatar state from both the animated series and the live action.
The Avatar state is a defense mechanism designed to empower you with the skills and knowledge of all the past avatars. The glow is the combination of all your past lives, focusing their energy through your body. In the Avatar state, you are at your most powerful, but you are also at your most vulnerable.
What do you mean?
If you are killed in the Avatar state, the reincarnation cycle will be broken, and the Avatar will cease to exist.
And to help you gain control over the ultimate power, the Avatar state is a combination of all your past lives focusing their energy through you. The Avatar state gives you the strength of 1,000 benders.
I've seen it. It's dangerous.
If uncontrolled, yes. But it can also be the ultimate weapon. And it can save your life.
Stop right there, I've seen enough. This is just Kyoshi walking circles around Aang telling him about the Avatar state in a very boring manner. The show has a big flaw of telling when it's supposed to be showing, and speaking of Avatar Roku, I felt like some of the casting didn't quite land. Example, Azula and her friends, especially Ty Lee. The live action Zhao is not very Zhao. King Bumi, and the worst of all, Avatar Roku. I did not feel like the portrayal of anyone was worse than Avatar Roku. Just see the first encounter when Aang went to Avatar Roku's temple.
It's me, Aang.
Is it not customary to bow before your elders? And to avert your eyes? And hop on one leg?
It's good to see you, Aang. What took you so long?
Now I don't like this. Not to mention the whole point of this encounter was for Aang to learn about the coming of Sozin's comet and the potential destruction of the world that poses. But in the live action, he has no idea Sozin's comet is coming. They went to see Roku for completely two different reasons, and right after this, Roku destroyed his temple, burning everything to the ground. But in the live action, Aang just got attacked by June, which shouldn't happen for another 7 episodes.
I'm starting to get some feeling back. Ow.
And also, Iroh and Zuko were not even with her. The show is rushed because the original plot bounces around so much, it puts the cast out of like half of the scenes that they're supposed to be in, making their friendship bonds and character development feels fake and fabricated. Speaking of fake and fabricated, the Fire Lord doesn't feel threatening. He walks around and talks too much. Dude, go set in that fire and look badass. So what is the verdict of Netflix adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender? If you watched the video to this point, you probably already know the answer. It is bad. For longtime fans of the animated series, but really good for people who don't know anything about this series. The adaptation is extra easy to criticize because unlike that last masterpiece, this is a series, not a movie. That gives them plenty of space to work with. The show should not have this many flaws. I don't like it, and most of the people that I've talked to about it don't seem to like it either. This is not Avatar The Last Airbender, this is just Avatar The Last Airbender. In my personal opinion, the show is bad. They removed my favorite episodes. I don't want to see a season 2 of this adaptation because I don't want to see Toph. She's one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, and I don't want to see what Netflix will do to her. I provided enough visual aid as I could to go along with everything I've said in this video, so you don't think that I'm just being biased here. Share your own thoughts down in the comments and like and subscribe also. I've got a ton of good shorts in my channel, so you can just go check those out. Or not, I'm not forcing you or anything. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.